Imagine a city, larger than modern-day Paris, thriving in the heart of a jungle. A sprawling metropolis of 1 million people, with stone temples reaching for the heavens and a water management system that was a marvel of the ancient world. This was Angkor, the capital of the mighty Khmer Empire. For centuries, it was the bustling center of Southeast Asia. Yet, by the 16th century, this magnificent city was all but abandoned, swallowed by the very jungle it had once tamed. What happened? How could the largest pre-industrial city on Earth simply vanish? This is one of history's greatest mysteries. It was thought that this devastating attack was the final blow that forced the Khmer kings to relocate their capital south, leaving Angkor to crumble. But the real story, as archaeologists are now discovering, is far more complex and in many ways more fascinating. The fall of Angkor wasn't a single event, but a slow, creeping decline caused by a perfect storm of factors. Let's dive into the science. Recent studies using LiDAR technology that's like radar, but with light, have allowed researchers to peel back the jungle canopy and see the true extent of Angkor. The images revealed a vast, low-density urban sprawl, intricately connected by a sophisticated network of canals, reservoirs, and embankments. This water system was the lifeblood of the empire. It supported intensive rice farming. For centuries, the Khmer engineers were masters of water, taming the monsoon rains and surviving the dry seasons. But this mastery came at a price. The system was brilliant, but it was also incredibly fragile. As the city expanded, more and more forests were cleared for rice paddies and construction. This deforestation led to soil erosion, which began to clog the delicate canal network. Then, the climate threw a devastating curveball. Southeast Asia was hit by a series of prolonged and intense droughts, followed by monster monsoons with extreme flooding. The canals, already choked with silt from erosion, couldn't handle these climate extremes. The droughts would have caused massive crop failures and water shortages for a city of 1 million people. Then, the intense floods would have overwhelmed the damaged infrastructure, breaking down the embankments and turning the carefully managed landscape into a swampy, unusable mess. The very system that had enabled Angkor's rise became the instrument of its downfall. It was a slow, cascading failure. So, it wasn't just a single invasion that brought down this mighty city. The final attacks from Ayutthaya were more like kicking down a door that was already rotten. The Khmer elite likely saw the writing on the wall and began a gradual migration to more favorable locations further south, with better maritime trade opportunities. The great city of Angkor wasn't so much conquered as it was slowly and painfully abandoned, left to the relentless embrace of the jungle. The story of Angkor is a powerful reminder that even the greatest civilizations are vulnerable to the forces of nature they seek to control. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. See you next time. Imagine a vast desert, the Sahara. Now, what if I told you that long before the pyramids of Giza pierced the sky, long before even Stonehenge was built, a mysterious civilization was already erecting stone circles here? This isn't science fiction. It's the incredible true story of Nabta Playa. Deep in what is now one of the driest places on Earth lies a secret that challenges everything we thought we knew about early human history. Around 11,000 years ago, this part of the Sahara wasn't a desert at all. It was a lush, green savanna, dotted with lakes and teeming with life. And here, a community of cattle herders decided to build something truly extraordinary. Let's rewind the clock. We're talking about a time when most of humanity were still nomadic hunter-gatherers. But the people of Nabta Playa were different. They were settling down, domesticating cattle, and creating a complex society. And at the heart of their world was a ceremonial center, marked by standing stones arranged in a circle. Now, this stone circle might not look as grand as Stonehenge, but it's thousands of years older. Archaeologists believe it was built around 7000 BC. That's a mind-boggling 4,000 years before Stonehenge and 4,500 years before the Great Pyramid of Giza. Think about that for a second. While people in Europe were just beginning to farm, this African community was already mapping the stars. Because that's what makes Nabta Playa so fascinating. The stones aren't just random. They align with key stars in the summer sky, like Orion's belt. This wasn't just a gathering place. It was an astronomical observatory. These ancient people were tracking the seasons, predicting the life-giving monsoons that would refill their lakes and nourish their cattle. It was a calendar, a guide, a connection to the cosmos, all carved in stone. They also buried cattle in elaborate tombs, sometimes under huge stone slabs. This wasn't just about food. Cattle were sacred. These burials show a deep spiritual belief system, a reverence for these animals that were central to their survival and culture. It suggests a complex religion and social structure we're only just beginning to understand. So, what happened to this advanced civilization? The climate changed. The rain stopped, the lakes dried up, and the green savanna turned into the endless sand we see today. Around 5,000 years ago, the people of Nabta Playa were forced to leave. They packed up their knowledge, their beliefs, and their traditions, and migrated. And here's the most amazing part. Many archaeologists believe they moved towards the Nile Valley, bringing their advanced understanding of astronomy, engineering, and social organization with them. Could the astronomical knowledge that helped build the pyramids have its roots right here, in the heart of the Sahara? It's a powerful idea, suggesting that the seeds of ancient Egyptian civilization may have been planted by the forgotten people of Nabta Playa. This incredible site forces us to rethink our timeline of human achievement. It shows us that Africa, not just Europe or the Middle East, was a cradle of complex society, astronomy, and monumental architecture. Nabta Playa is a silent testament to a lost world, a culture that looked to the stars and laid the groundwork for future empires, long before the history we all learned in school even began. It's a powerful reminder that history is full of hidden chapters, and the desert still holds so many secrets. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories from our ancient past. Deep within the Amazon rainforest, shrouded in mystery and legend, lies a city of gold, a lost civilization so advanced it haunted the dreams of explorers for centuries. They called it the Lost City of Z. This isn't just a bedtime story. It's a real-life adventure that cost many their lives. Our story begins with Colonel Percy Fawcett, a British explorer who was a true-life Indiana Jones. In the early 20th century, while mapping the jungles of Brazil and Bolivia for the Royal Geographical Society, Fawcett stumbled upon something extraordinary. He found ancient pottery shards and heard tales from local tribes about a magnificent city hidden deep in the jungle, a place with paved streets, intricate temples, and of course, immense riches. He named this mythical place the Lost City of Z. Fawcett wasn't just chasing a fantasy. He based his theory on a document discovered in Rio de Janeiro, known as Manuscript 512. This manuscript, written by Portuguese explorers in 1753, described finding the ruins of a sophisticated ancient city in the Amazon, complete with arches, statues, and a temple. This historical account fueled Fawcett's obsession. He believed Z was not just a myth, but the remnant of a highly advanced pre-Columbian civilization. Between 1906 and 1924, Fawcett led 7 expeditions into the Amazon. Each journey was a brutal battle against nature. He and his men faced venomous snakes, flesh-eating piranhas, debilitating diseases like malaria, and hostile tribes who saw them as intruders. Yet, with each trip, Fawcett grew more convinced he was getting closer. His letters home were filled with excitement and tantalizing clues. Then came the fateful expedition of 1925. Fawcett, then 57 years old, embarked on what he believed would be his final and successful journey. He took with him his eldest son, Jack, and Jack's friend, Raleigh Rimmel. They traveled light, believing a small party could move faster and attract less attention. They packed only the essentials and plunged into the Mato Grosso region of Brazil, a territory so remote it was called the Green Hell. On May 29, 1925, Fawcett sent his last dispatch. His message was confident. He was crossing the upper Xingu River and venturing into unexplored territory. After that, complete silence. The trio vanished without a trace. Their disappearance sparked one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. What happened to Percy Fawcett and his team? Over the next several decades, countless rescue missions and expeditions were launched to find them. It's estimated that over 100 people died searching for Fawcett and the lost city of Z. Some found Fawcett's compass. Others heard rumors from indigenous tribes about a captured white explorer, but no definitive proof of their fate was ever discovered. Did they succumb to the jungle's dangers? Were they killed by a tribe that wanted to protect its territory? Or did they, against all odds, actually find the city of Z and decide never to return? For a long time, many archaeologists dismissed Fawcett's theory. They argued the Amazon soil was too poor to support the large populations needed for a complex civilization. But recent discoveries have started to change everything. Using satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar, scientists have uncovered evidence of ancient sprawling urban settlements hidden beneath the jungle canopy. They've found earthworks, causeways, and evidence of large-scale agriculture, exactly in the regions Fawcett was exploring. These discoveries suggest that a sophisticated society, or perhaps several, did indeed thrive in the Amazon long ago. So, was Percy Fawcett right all along? While the glittering city of Z from the legends might not exist, a lost civilization certainly did. The jungle is slowly giving up its secrets, revealing a history far more complex and fascinating than we ever imagined. Fawcett's quest, though it ended in tragedy, paved the way for this new understanding. He was a man ahead of his time, whose obsession with a lost city might have led us to uncover an entire lost world. The mystery of Percy Fawcett's final journey remains unsolved, a haunting reminder of the power and secrets the Amazon still holds. What do you think happened to him? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures. Have you ever heard of the massive network of ancient tunnels crisscrossing our planet just beneath our feet? From Scotland to Turkey, and even stretching under the Americas, thousands of these subterranean passages have been discovered. But who built them, and why? Let's dig into one of history's most fascinating mysteries. These aren't just simple caves. We're talking about complex man-made networks, some dating back over 12,000 years to the Neolithic period. In Germany and Austria alone, hundreds of these tunnels are known as Erdstall. They're incredibly narrow, often just wide enough for a person to crawl through. Many have small chambers, seating niches, and even deliberate dead ends or looping passages, almost like an underground maze. What's truly baffling is their sheer scale. Legends and some researchers suggest that this network once stretched from Scotland all the way to the Mediterranean. One of the most famous and extensive examples is Derinkuyu in Cappadocia, Turkey. This is no mere tunnel. It's an entire underground city capable of housing up to 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food supplies. It descends 18 stories deep and includes everything a community would need: living quarters, stables, churches, storage rooms, and ventilation shafts. Derinkuyu is connected to other underground cities in the region through miles of tunnels. The official explanation is that these were built as hiding places from invaders. But could they have served an even grander purpose? Now, let's connect the dots globally. Similar underground structures have been found all over the world. In South America, the Teos Caves of Ecuador are legendary. Local stories speak of a vast tunnel system containing a library of metal plates inscribed with the lost history of humanity. While the most extraordinary claims remain unverified, the existence of extensive ancient tunnels in the region is a fact. Like the Hopi, who speak of their ancestors emerging from an underground world. So here's the big question. Are these tunnels isolated projects, or are they part of the single interconnected global network built by a forgotten civilization? What if a sophisticated ancient culture, perhaps even a pre-Ice Age civilization, built this network for travel, trade, or shelter from a global catastrophe? Imagine being able to travel from Europe to Asia without ever seeing the sun. Think about the level of cooperation and engineering required. This wouldn't be the work of scattered, primitive tribes. It would suggest a unified global culture that possess knowledge we can't even comprehend. German archaeologist Dr. Heinrich Kusch, who wrote a book on these European tunnels, believes they were built as a refuge. He points to the small chapels often found at the entrances, suggesting our ancestors saw these passages as gateways to a supernatural world. Or perhaps they were trying to protect themselves from something they feared on the surface. While mainstream archaeology often views these tunnels as separate, local phenomena, cellars, mines, or hideouts, the global pattern is hard to ignore. Why would so many different cultures, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, all decide to dig such similar, extensive networks? Is it just a coincidence? A common human response to a need for shelter? Or is it a clue to a chapter of human history that has been completely erased? The mystery of the ancient underground tunnels remains one of the most compelling enigmas of our past. They challenge our understanding of ancient capabilities and raise tantalizing questions about lost civilizations. Perhaps the answers are still buried deep within the earth, waiting for the next brave explorer to uncover them. What do you think? Were these just storage cellars, or the highways of a lost global empire? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into history's greatest mysteries. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying south of ancient Egypt, down the Nile River, to uncover the story of a powerful and often overlooked civilization, the Kingdom of Kush. You might have heard of them as Nubia, but their story is so much more than just being Egypt's southern neighbor. For centuries, they were rivals, trading partners. And at one point, they even became the masters of Egypt itself. So, where exactly was Kush? Imagine the lands of modern-day Sudan. This was the heartland of a kingdom that rose around the same time as Egypt's Middle Kingdom, roughly 2000 BCE. Their first capital, Kerma, was a bustling city with massive defensive walls and unique round temples, totally different from the pyramids and rectangular temples up north. The people of Kush were skilled archers, so feared that the Egyptians called their land Tasseti, the land of the bow. They were also rich in resources that Egypt craved: gold, ivory, ebony, and incense. This made them incredibly wealthy and a constant focus of Egyptian ambition. For a long time, the relationship was a tug of war. Sometimes they traded peacefully, other times Egypt invaded and colonized parts of Kush, building forts along the Nile to control the trade routes. But the Kushites were resilient. Around 1000 BCE, as Egypt's new kingdom weakened, Kush saw its chance. A new Kushite dynasty emerged from their new capital, Nabta, near the sacred mountain of Jebel Barkal. They didn't just copy Egyptian culture. They adopted it, revered the Egyptian gods, especially Amun, and saw themselves as the true guardians of ancient Egyptian traditions. This brings us to the most incredible chapter in their history. In the 8th century BCE, a Kushite king named Pi looked north and saw Egypt in chaos, fractured and ruled by petty chieftains. Believing he was on a divine mission from the god Amun, Pi marched his army up the Nile. He wasn't just conquering. He believed he was reunifying and purifying Egypt. He succeeded, and he and his successors became the pharaohs of Egypt's 25th dynasty, often called the Black Pharaohs. For nearly a century, these Kushite kings ruled over a combined empire stretching from deep in Sudan all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. They built temples, restored old monuments, and brought a renaissance of Egyptian culture. So what happened to them? The Assyrian Empire, with its superior iron weapons, invaded Egypt. The Kushite pharaohs fought back bravely, but were eventually pushed out of Egypt and retreated back to their homeland. But their story doesn't end there. They established a new final capital further south at Meru. Here, they thrived for another 1,000 years. Meru became a powerhouse of iron production, with slag heaps so vast they are still visible today. They developed their own unique script, Meroitic, which we still haven't fully deciphered, and they built their own distinct style of steep-sided pyramids. The Kingdom of Kush eventually faded from history around the 4th century CE due to environmental changes and the rise of the neighboring Aksumite kingdom. For centuries, their story was buried under the sands of Sudan, overshadowed by their more famous northern neighbors. But the legacy of Kush is a powerful reminder that ancient Africa was home to sophisticated, wealthy, and powerful civilizations that shaped the course of history. They weren't just a footnote in Egypt's story. They wrote their own epic tale of power, conquest, and incredible resilience. Thanks for joining me on this journey to the land of the Black Pharaohs. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. See you next time.